Today's tutorial is going to be showing you how to do a sewn bind off. And I'm going to be showing you this on a fingerless mitt that I have just finished up here, just about. I still have the thumb to do, but I want to show you how to do the sewn bind off. This has become one of my favorites to do. It gives your bind off edge the same look as your long tail cast on. So that's what I've done here to start this mitt, was a long tail cast on. So let's go ahead and do the sewn bind off, and then I'll show you how similar they look. It really just gives you a nice finished edge that looks the same at start and finish. And this is a bind off that you can use for fingerless mitts like this. You could use it at the top of your socks if you knit them toe up, at sweaters if you're doing the neckband or the waistband of a sweater. Anything like that is good for this. It does give a little bit of stretch and, like I said, a nice finished edge. So let's go ahead and see how we do this. So I've got my yarn here, and you want to make sure you have enough yarn. So generally I say 2 to 3 times the width of your finished object. So let's go ahead and pull a little bit out here. And I'm never perfect with how I do this. We are just gonna lay it out there about like that. Say that's about 1, 2, and then I'll do a little bit extra. So let's go ahead and cut our yarn. Set this stuff out of the way. And grab our tapestry needle. So this mitt was worked up on magic loop. So first we're going to be working across these front stitches here. The first thing that you're going to do is take your needle and you're going to put it in purlwise in the first 2 stitches. And give that a pull. You want to pull it so it's, about the same tension as you're knitting. You don't want it too loose or too tight. But this is a bind off that you could really adjust that tension. If you want it a little bit loose, a little bit extra stretchy, you could adjust that and not pull your stitches quite as snug. So we've pulled it through the first 2 stitches on the needle purlwise. Now we are going to go into the very first stitch knitwise, pull that through there, and then we're going to take that first stitch off of the needle. Then again, we're going to go through the first 2 stitches on the needle purlwise, and back through the first one knitwise. I'll show you a couple more times. And that is the gist of this bind off. You're just going through the first 2 purlwise, and then back through the first knitwise and take it off. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to work across to this point, so that if you are working this up magic loop and you have questions about once you get to that part where it joins, I'll show you how I do that part. Okay, I have done the whole front half of this since this was worked magic loop. So now I have 1 stitch left there. So what I'm going to do, super simple, just pull your needle through, pop that stitch on to the other side. Sorry for the noise of the needles there. So then you're going to pull your needle around to that side and just continue on. So So I will go ahead and finish off this second half, and then once I get down to the very last stitch, I'll just show you how you finish it up. So I've worked the sewn bind off all the way across the back side, and I am down to the last 2 stitches. So I wanted to show you how you do the last 2. You go ahead and process them as normal. So purlwise through the 2, and then knitwise through the first. Take the first one off, purlwise through that first one, and go ahead and take your needle out. So now you are done. And then what I will do with my tapestry needle here is just come over here to the other side. You can see this is where I finished, and you can see right there is the first stitch that I did. So I'm just gonna put my tapestry needle through that and tighten it right up. And then I will go ahead and weave in those ends right on the back side there. So let's take a look. We have our bind off right up top there and our cast on. Pretty similar, not exact, but I think it's pretty similar. And for those of you that maybe aren't that crazy about the Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off, I think this is a nice option. And let's take a look. I just think it gives that a nice finished edge. I like the Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off as well, but look, you have plenty of stretch with this bind off. So I hope that you guys found this tutorial helpful for how to do the sewn bind off, and that this will give you another option for different bind off that you can use if you want to change it up a bit from the normal.